Hi, today I'd like to show you how to create a graph using Microsoft Excel. Begin by launching Microsoft Excel, and you get a new blank workbook. I'm going to shrink this so we can follow the instructions as we work. Okay. You came from the laboratory with a data table that had data points that you measured, and each data point had an x value and a y value. The x value corresponds to the independent variable, the one that you varied, while the y value corresponds to the dependent variable, which is the outcome you measured. So we'll begin by recording those in adjacent columns. We'll put the x values, the ones you want on the horizontal axis, in the left-hand column, and then adjacent to it we'll put in the y values, which were the outcomes you measured. Those will go on the vertical axis. As you can see, I'm just making numbers up here that don't necessarily mean anything. Okay? Now, you can put headings at the top of the columns if you want, but you don't have to, and notice that I only entered the numbers, I did not enter any units. Okay? Now, we're going to highlight or select just the data points, okay, and go to the Insert menu at the top, and you'll see a bunch of boxes here for recommended charts. Look for the one that has the disconnected dots. If you mouse over it, it says XY scatter. Click on that, and then you'll see scatter. Click on that, and there is your chart. You can move it around, you can expand it, you can do whatever you like with it, okay? And you see your data points there. Now that's not enough because we have to make it look nice. So we're going to first give it a title, okay? And a good general title is how the dependent variable depends on the independent variable. But of course you're going to put in what the actual variables are, okay? We will then want to label the axes with both the quantity being graphed as well as the unit. So up here under Add Chart Element, click on that, go down to Axis Titles. For primary horizontal, you'll see a little box appear down here, and we can put in whatever the x value is with the corresponding unit. Back to Add Chart Element, Axis Titles, primary vertical, and we'll do the same thing with the y-axis. Y values with the corresponding unit. Okay, so there's a pretty nice looking graph, but what we want to do now is to add what's called a trend line, which is a mathematical model that tells how the y values depend upon the x values. Almost always you're going to be doing a linear curve fit, so let's see how we do that. So click on the graph, go back up to Add Chart Element, go to Trend Line, and choose More Trend Line Options. You'll see the options over here. There are a variety of different ways you can mathematically model your data. We're almost always going to be doing linear. So click on Linear. If you know that your graph goes through the origin, that is, if you know when the x value is 0, the y value must be 0, then click on Set Intercept, and it will set the intercept equal to 0. Then click on Display Equation on Chart, and you see your equation right there. Okay? If you want to make that bigger, you can simply click on it, go to Format, Trend Line Label. That's not it, actually. Go back to Home, and simply go to Font, and then make the font bigger. Okay, so now we want to save it and print it. So under File, Save As, save it to whatever device you're on. We'll call this New Workbook. Save. Sure, why not? And now to print it, highlight everything. Under File, Print Area, Set Print Area. Now we want to make sure everything's on the same page, so go back to File, go to Page Setup. Whether it's portrait or landscape is up to you, it doesn't matter, but click on Fit to 1 page wide by 1 page tall. Then you're sure that everything is on one page. So simply File, Print, and you're good to go. All right.